Go ahead, Ed.
Should we anticipate an on-camera briefing with Jake or someone about the trip beforehand?
Yes, you can anticipate, as we normally do, Ed. That is something that we do ahead of a trip. So.
As for something completely different, I have a question on immigration.
Okay.
And something that happened here at the White House yesterday, because the president, justifiably, understandably, was focused on natural disasters and talked to the 4 governors of the states affected by the storm. Met with the cabinet on that issue. Also had time for a meeting with Bernie Sanders. But when the governor of New York came by to discuss a very urgent matter in the state of New York and across the country, a lot of big cities, he did not meet with her. Why not?
Well, look, as you just stated, there's a lot going on, and his chief of staff was part of that meeting. I believe Secretary Mayorkas was part of that meeting. Some of his very high-level senior staff participated in the meeting with the governor, which is, as you said, a very important meeting to have. He has a very good relationship with the governor. We've been, every time we're in New York, the president, in practically every time, the president engages with the governors. They have a very good relationship. Look, the president has a lot on his plate. As you said, this is an important issue as well. But when you have the chief of staff, when you have the Secretary of Homeland Security there meeting with the governor, I think that shows how important the president thought this meeting was, to make sure he had his top people speaking with her as well.
Part of why I asked this is because in a recent New York Times interview, the New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez says, quote, "Immigration is arguably this administration's weakest issue. This is one area where our policy is dictated by politics, arguably more so than any other."
Well, I would agree with her certainly on the last part, where it is dictated by politics. This is a president, and you hear me say this over and over, Ed. The first day of his administration, he put forth a comprehensive immigration piece of legislation. The first piece of legislation in his tenure as president was that. And he took it incredibly seriously and wanted to put forth a path to deal with an issue, a system that has been broken for decades upon decades upon decades. And while he's taking steps on his own, Republicans have made this an incredibly political issue. They have turned this into into political stunts that we have seen over and over and over again. And so the president has asked and has said, hey, let's do this in a bipartisan way. Here's the funding that we would need to actually try to fix what's going on and to work on what's going on on the border. And they refuse. They want to make it, they, meaning Republicans in Congress, want to make it a political issue. Look, the president has done what he can from here, from the federal government, from the White House, to put forth and manage our border in a safe and humane way, to respect the dignity of every human, as he says all the time, and making sure that our communities are safe. And you have seen him do that. But the system is broken. We want to do this in a bipartisan way. Republicans refuse to do that.
The charge from the Congresswoman that the White House hasn't taken up recommendations from fellow Democrats on how to deal with this issue more through executive action or otherwise because of concerns of how Republicans might react, you would say what?
I would say this. The president has done more to secure the border and to deal with this issue of immigration than anybody else. He really has. June saw the single largest month-to-month drop in unlawful border crossing because of the policies this president put in place. We've got a record number of federal agents and officers, more than 24,000, working to secure the border because of the funding this president secured. We brought 21 world leaders on the West Coast, as you all remember, together for the first time to deal with this issue in a regional way, because of the alliances that this president has put forth, and we secured record funding for border security and management. And let's not forget, we've expanded the pathway to citizenship under this president. And mind you, he's been doing this on his own. Does he want to do it in a bipartisan way? Absolutely. That's why he put forth his first piece of legislation to be on immigration, to fix this broken system. We are willing to work with Congress, with Republicans. We need Republicans to do this. We just do. But they keep turning into a political stunt.